Good morning. I'm super honored to be invited here by Exito for this talk. And I think I just enjoyed a very good session by Emma, Michael, and BL, and it's very insightful and make it very interesting. Yeah. So even I'm the last one session before you go to the coffee break, I would like to share something about what Arista is doing in the Fintech, and also what we are doing for the banking customer. They're moving to the digital transformation. So I hope I can share some of the experience we have done with the banking customer, which you in the next 20 minutes. Yeah. So normally I cover the ASEAN country, right? So I'm based in Singapore. Every time I go to different country, I need to exchange some cash, right? But I found I traveled to Manila for more than 6 times this year. I haven't been used any peso. So I found here is actually the digital is very convenient here, like Emma mentioned, right? So like those GCash, the Maya, a lot of digital wallet here I can use. So a lot of those digital app I can use for hiring, to restaurant, etc., hotels. So actually I don't need to use cash here. Yeah. So that's something I'm so excited to hear is this briefing is moving very fast in terms of digital transformation. Yeah. So today, so my agenda would be give me some time to give some introduction about Arista, and then I follow by talking some sort about the trends we are seeing for the trends in the financial service, what is moving on, and then I'll cover some of the digital journey, right? Some of the area we will involve, and that's something. Let me share a bit about Arista first. So for Arista, right? Can I ask? Who have heard about Arista before the event today? Good, good to see a few hands. Yeah, I think majority might not hear Arista before. So actually, Arista is founded in the US about 20 years ago. So we are listed in the New York Stock Exchange. So if you are using the Google, using Facebook, use WhatsApp, you watch YouTube, Netflix, you're already using Arista, because Arista is helping them to build a data center worldwide. And we are the Gartner leader. Thank you, Emma. Yeah. So we are the Gartner leader in the data center networking since 2015. So in terms of the 100 gig 400 shipment, so Arista is the #1 in the market. Yeah. So because we are helping so many cloud customers to build their data center, so we find initiative to transform our banking customers as well. That's where we in the last 12 years. Since we're helping the first batch of those investment banking customer, they transform from the paper trading to the digital trading. Then they're starting to build those infrastructure to make the ultra low latency in the stock exchange, in those co-location, to help them to make the money by the trading, because of they get the data faster. They use algo trade to make the business from there. So this is our first batch of the banking customers, helping them to move to the ultra low latency. And followed by the more and more banking customers, they found the data becoming more critical for them. So a lot more data center was built by the majority global banking customers, like Citibank, Morgan Stanley, DBS. They're building more and more data center, not just in their own home country, but also covering the different country which they have local presence. So this is where Arista to try to help them to transform their business to move more from the traditional banking to digital banking, provide more service. Yeah, and also we are seeing, right, more and more new fintech company coming out, and in terms of payment, we have new way to do it. In terms of the banking, we have a purely digital banking without any branch at all, right? So we are helping a lot of this banking. They are helping them to build up the IT infrastructure. So that's what we are helping the customer to do in the last 15 years. Yeah. So let's look at some key trends in the ASEAN market. So according to the survey, right? So in the coming 10 years until 2030, actually 20% of the branch will be closed down in ASEAN market. And take it for Indonesia, for example. In Indonesia, there's more than 7,000 branches will be closed down. And in Philippines, right, you can see there's around 1,500 about branches will be closed down. Or Singapore, more than 30% of the branches will be closed down. So this we are seeing because people are moving to digital, like we see in the Philippines here. So less and less branches are needed. And also in terms of the payment, right? So cash, actually, according to the survey by Visa, cash now is less preferred in the ASEAN country here. So more than 50% prefer the cashless way. So let's take Singapore for example, right? Singapore, you can see here is only 50% of people still prefer the cash. Majority, they're moving to the contactless, cashless payment method. So for example, when I took the Grab, right, from the airport to the hotel yesterday, unfortunately, the taxi broke down in the middle. So the Grab cannot cancel. And the driver said, okay, can I pay you back by GCash? So this is the way. So they don't use cash anymore, even the old uncle, right? So can I pay you by GCash? Okay, I start to, install GCash, okay. That is the way, right? We are seeing. So actually in Philippines as well, right? We are seeing this kind of digital payment is becoming more and more popular here. Yeah. This is a trend we are seeing. So in order to embrace this kind of digital transformation, right? So now we need to check, right, what we can do in terms of our infrastructure to embrace this digital transformation. First is we are seeing is the data, right? Now is becoming more and more important. So money is the most important for bank, right? Now data is equally important. So that's why sometimes data was treated as a new currency by a lot of our industry. So because data can help us to provide a personalization service to our customers, so be very critical to your digital service as well. So data normally stored in the data center, right? Data center will be I think most of you will have your own data center. You might also have some stored data in the cloud as well. So about 10 days ago in Singapore, there's one critical data center outage in one of the biggest data center provider. So they're hosting the DBS, Citibank, Meta, Singtel, StarHub, from the banking to telco to government, to the cloud social player. So because that outage in data center, because of cooling, actually a lot of service was disrupted. At that time I was in a restaurant, I was told that, okay, today you cannot use DBS, POSB, credit card because of some service disruption. So this is the data center very, very crucial to us. So how we can make sure our infrastructure design can be resilient to such kind of digital service we're offering is becoming more and more important for us to consider. That's why for us, right, when we designing our infrastructure, so we need to consider whether your data center is it resilient enough to cater this failure. The failure can happen to your data center or could happen to some of your service serving you for data center in the public cloud. So now you need to consider, right, in terms of data center, you may have may have second DR, now may have the third data center, and also you might move some workload to the cloud in case your local data center cannot sustain the high availability you are trying to achieve. So this is from the data center why you need to consider. But more importantly, when you have more data center, can you make sure your application can meet the high availability? This is the second we need to consider. Because like for example, DBS, Citibank, Facebook, they all have multiple data center, right? Like Singapore, one data center failed. Why the service cannot fail over? That's because our application, our service is also evolving, right? We are delivering more new business to our application, providing new service. Whether our application service can also be resilient to such kind of failure. This is something we need to take into consideration. There's always a dilemma there, right? You have a new thing coming out, whether the new thing can be catered for this kind of the resilient kind of disaster recovery. So that's why we need to think about our process, not just layer one infrastructure, not about just network. It's about data. It's about your service. Whether you do this kind of DR process regularly, maybe you do it once a year, but within a year, right, you have a lot of application data you're coming up. Whether you should do it more frequently, make it half year, quarterly, or monthly, so that your application, your service can cater such kind of failure in terms of maybe power, maybe infrastructure, maybe some of the other scenarios. So this is something we need to think our process about high availability, how we can make it from layer 1 to layer 7. Yeah. The second is becoming more and more data, right? How to utilize the data to gain the intelligence. So I think big data would be the way we have been using by many banking customers for last 10 years, yeah. So this kind of big data, right? So if you look at in the back end, right? So big data actually is majority using the Hadoop system, yeah. So the Hadoop system is the back end system handling the big data. What Hadoop is doing, because the data becoming bigger and bigger, right? How can you store the bigger data? How can you process bigger data? You cannot use like traditional database like Oracle, MySQL anymore. You need to use this Hadoop kind of scalable distributed file system. So the concept is very simple. It's the divide and conquer. So divide the one data to be handled by many servers. Make it distributed, divide and conquer. Yeah. But that's why they make the data, right, to make it east to west. The server need to talk to each other. After each server handle, right, they need to talk to each other. So that's where many of our banking customers, when they scale out, right, they're building more and more big data system. They found that the network infrastructure they are using for the existing IT system cannot cater the requirement for big data. Because big data, they're very chatty. They chat to each other. Now imagine, now I talk to you, right? You all keep silent. You can hear me. But if you talk to each other, then we cannot hear from each other. That's why we need to rethink our infrastructure. How we can cater this kind of a new business in terms of the big data. So how can we make sure the network is big enough, big pipe, and also you have a buffer to cater this kind of a congestion in the big data system. It's something we are hearing more and more from our customer when they build the big data, the file storage, when they have this kind of bigger infrastructure. So how can improve the performance they're using big data to reduce the completion time to get the data what they need. So this is, we have some of the customer, right? They are feedback what they see from the network. For example, here you can see there's a green data here. The green data is the job in terms of the application they're seeing in their infrastructure. So how they can reduce this kind of job to improve the performance, this is something we have experience to help the customer to move on. Yeah. So this is about the big data system. We are helping them to build, to improve. And second is, followed by you have more and more data, right? So the next phase is how we can use those new AI, ML method to help us to collect the data, to build more and more data, and also help us to automate the process to gain the data analytic from the system. So this where AI, ML starting to help us a lot. So according to McKinsey, right, so there's about 1 trillion value AI can help to bring to our banks. So in terms of the sales marketing, in terms of risk, internal, in terms of IT, HR, finance, there's a lot of area we need to rethink how AI, ML can help us to improve our efficiency and help us to gain more value from there. So this is some of the common use case from the front-end banking to the back office in terms of how AI can help us. From the most typical like the facial recognition when you're using your banking app, right? To those chatbot, I think you might already use some chatbot to offload the customer service. You're helping to serve customers. And there's some of the virtual assistant for you to do the bank loan. Maybe in your branch, you might not need to hire so many staff there. So a lot of the virtual assistant can be deployed there to help you to upload the actual people you need to hire in the banking. And in the back end, also the AI can helping to process data easier. So we have more and more this document we collecting, right? How we can use those OCR to help us to automate, collect the data. How we can use those authentication by those biometric data to do authentication. And further away is how we can use AI to analyze the data and find the insight for you and help you to get away from those cyber attacks, because the cyber attack we just shared by Arsof just now is becoming evolving. They are using AI to try to find a way to get into your data center. So get into your office. How we can use AI to fight back as well. This is another topic we can leverage AI to help us to keep our defense away of those cybersecurity. So this is some of the system we're helping to develop using the ChatGPT concept, because the generative AI was brought by those ChatGPT last year, right? So a lot of banks are asking how we can use this generative AI technology to improve our internal, in terms of IT, for example. So, for example, like this case, we are collecting helping a lot of information in our IT system, from the firewall, from network, from server, from storage, from the IP phone system, right? So, whenever there's something problem, the IT team head there is, I need to collect a lot of information. I need to do a correlation. Take it for example. So, maybe the CEO calling the IT team, okay, my Zoom had problem. Then as IT team, right? Okay, CEO complain, Zoom had problem. Then you might be afraid, okay, should I ask CEO, what time do you have problem? Which device do you use? You might not be afraid to ask this question, right? This is where AI can come into picture. You can chat with the AI. This is our Arista AWA agent, because we collect all the data. So first, you can ask AWA, okay, my CEO, for example, my CEO is J3. J3 has a Zoom problem. So the AI can help you to check, okay, first check the J3 account. So how many devices J3 is using? So maybe my CEO is using the laptop, using the iPad, might be also using some of the Android phone to join to the network. And then I further analyze, so which device use Zoom in the last 1 day or 1 week. Then we can see, okay, find out which device is using Zoom and what time the Zoom have problem. So this is what AI can help you in the back end, to help you to diagnose data, to find out, okay, maybe if find out the laptop is okay, iPad is okay, maybe we found some periods when the CEO using her personal phone to join a Zoom meeting in some meeting conference room where they hit the Zoom problem. And then that meeting room might be because of those Wi-Fi AP connection there, which is her personal Android phone are using some guest Wi-Fi, not the corporate Wi-Fi, which is the lower QoS, which is that hit the problem. So this is something, the AI in the back end, how we can use those ChatGPT to help us to accelerate the IT operation task for you. So if you want to hear more, we have a book outside to explain a bit more about how we can use AI to help you to solve your IT problem in an easier manner. So the next topic is about the cybersecurity. So because nowadays in the banking, we are getting more and more unmanaged devices into our network. So that's by the report is now is more than 50% of devices are not managed. Like for example, like my CEO, she got her own Android phone into the system, which are not managed by our IT system. And you may have some of the more and more IoT devices get into your banking system. Maybe some robot, camera, printer. More and more of these devices are not like laptop server. We can install some agent on it, right? So a lot more this kind of unmanaged devices come into our network. And there's more than 51% of the breach, right, into those banking systems are not malware based. So we cannot use those AV or firewall or IPS to detect based on signature. And those attacks, right, is all more than 300% increase. They're all encrypted. You don't know what's going on in those encrypted channels. We cannot decrypt it. So this is the trend about the bank customer. We're seeing this kind of behavior in our network. So how we can do that is, this is one of the use case, right, from our actual banking customers. So we help them to find out the IP phone in the boardroom has some activity to upload to the AWS regularly. So AWS is a very domain, right? Your firewall will not borrow it. IP phone is also enabled to talk to each other. They're using the IP, right? So you will not borrow it internal as well. But if we are human, right? We think about if the IP phone talk to the AWS, right? It's not a normal behavior. So our AI in the back end can help you to baseline the traffic and find out this kind of abnormal behavior and notify the IT team, okay, this device, this IP phone, they're talking to AWS. Please go to check whether it's downloading a firmware or maybe uploading some recording data. we store this timely database in the back end. And we use AI to help you to discover that, not the human being. So the human being was reported by this AI system in the back end. Okay, please take a look. Whether the IP phone is a firmware upgrade or is uploading some or set data they're recording. And for this customer, right, we help them find out. Actually, this IP phone was hacked by some of the rogue IT administrator internally. So they starting to steal the information data from those boardroom phones, which was used by those board directors. They can steal information from there. So this is one use case, right? So how we can use this AI in the back end to help you discover those devices which cannot install any those agent like EDI agent, Sentinel, etc. But we can use their network behavior to detect. This is where what Arista is helping us customers do is we helping the customer to provide the data center infrastructure, the campus Wi-Fi infrastructure to connect all the data together. But we are not just connecting the data. We also have a visibility to the application they're running. And further is we help to benchmark, baseline the application they're using, and then help to find out the abnormal behavior by using the AI agent in the back end to help you to give you more insight, okay, what would be the right level you should use. We don't need to install any agent onto your device. We're purely using the infrastructure in the network to get the flow data, metadata, and do the analysis in the back end to help you to find out those bad guys in the back end. Yeah. So this will complement with what the firewall solution you're using, the IPS solution, SIEM solution, etc. So this is from the detection angle to help you to find out from the data we're collecting. Yeah. So that's what we see is we need to go to this zero-touch framework to protect our data, as that's important. So to summarize, what I'd like to give you some takeaways. Now data, right, becoming the top priority in our digital transformation. So how we should design our data center, our application to cater the different level of resilience. How we use the big data to convert the competitive advantage. And how would AI ML, this kind of a new technology, right, can help us to bring more new business revenue or into our internal operation, IT, how to improve efficiency. This is something we should take a look into it. And the last and not the least is the cybersecurity is always the top concern we should address. Yeah. So we are helping you from the network detection angle to give you the detection to help you to work with your other security solution to give you the zero-touch security for all your data you're using. So in the past, right, actually we have helped a lot of ASEAN customers to do the transformation from the data center to campus to the trading and to the zero-touch security. This is some of the customers, right, crossing from Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines, Vietnam, etc. So our booth is just outside. So I hope I can have some chance to check in a booth if you have any interest to hear more about this kind of topic. Yeah. So thank you. That's all for my part. Yeah.